What did you tell your team after this win? You just talk about the emotions of the week and then getting this.
I kind of just reiterated what we talked about today in the team meeting. Didn't say much. We felt like we've done enough talking, a lot of talking this week. So they've been quiet. They worked hard. They did a good job. I mean, this was a bumpy night. 20 penalties and the up and down this, but I just love their resilience and fight, and we came out on top.
Mike Todd, for the ESPN. I know it was last year's theme, but you used the word resilience. Is that what you took out of this one, with how both sides of the ball were able to overcome the other team, maybe themselves a little bit, and make plays when they mattered most?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is part of the definition of a complementary football team. The offense picks up for the defense picks up for the offense and special teams all the way around. So there's plays that need to be made, especially down the stretch, and it was. It was a bumpy game out there. There's about 20, 21 penalties called, a lot of back and forth, a lot of resetting your jaw and just keep fighting. And I thought our men did a really good job there.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Just your thoughts on the offense. Looked like you had some nice plays. At other times, a little chunky at times.
Yeah, I'll tell you. We a lot of respect for the pass rush. We had some things inside that we didn't get going as well as we liked, but. It's we're getting there. I think the action game. They threw a lot of defense at us tonight. I think this is, as you play a team that's coming out of the bye week. That's to be expected. I thought our guys handled it. We saw a lot of pressure there in the first half, empty pressure. Man, on top of the things he normally plays. So, but yeah, it's. It's a good win, good road win. We've had 4 on the road out of 6 games. We split. We're 4-2. We're at the bye. It's been a little bit. It's been a roller coaster ride as far as how we've performed and our productivity in 6 weeks. So we get a chance to reset, reboot. Hopefully, we come out of the game relatively healthy and get back at it for the Rams. But continuity and consistency is at the forefront of everything we've been focused on, and not to be negative Nelly after a win, but the pre-snap penalties it's a reoccurring issue on the road. The 4 road games that they've all been a problem. So we have to get better there. We have to resolve that because it's holding us back. And the competitive penalties you got to work through and coach through and teach through and keep working.
Ed Werder, ESPN. Dak used his legs a lot today. The 18-yard touchdown run on 4th down. I think he finished with 7 rushes and 40 yards, both season highs. Why was that such a big part of your offense today?
Well, I think if you just look at the design of their defense, their edge rushers are extremely wide. So they're going into it and how some of the things we wanted to do inside was to focus on trying to keep those B gaps open. He did a good job of taking that, trusting his feet, coming out of there, extending plays. I thought he played extremely well above the 2.3 second mark, and it was obviously needed. So, but that's part of the issue. He played a 3-4, the wide rushers, and this is probably as wide as we've seen all year. So it limits you to do some things to get him out on the edge. So stepping up, up and out. I thought he did a really nice job of that tonight.
Hey, Coach, Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. Can you talk a little bit about just your defense, especially that last 2 minutes with those big plays by Michael Parsons as well as?
Yeah, definitely. That's how we feel we're built for those moments. Our pass rush and big time players make big plays. Important part of these type of games. So, that's hopefully we're in that position every week. Where our pass rush is put up to the forefront of the challenge.
Joe Hoyt, Lone Star Live. Brandon Cooks talked this week about patience and trust in the process. 4 catches, a touchdown tonight. What have you seen from him just in terms of being patient and then taking advantage of the opportunity tonight?
Brandon's the ultimate pro. He's the same man every day. He's a joy to work with. Extremely coachable. Has vast volume of experience. Has been in different systems. He's excellent to the young players, so it doesn't surprise me that he's made that statement, because that's the way he comes to work every day. He's very consistent, and frankly, it's a lead that we need to follow because we need to be more consistent and we got to get our continuity. You know, that's a focus for us moving forward.
Tyler Dragon, USA Today. How would you assess your offensive performance coming off of last week's bad loss into today to rally back like that?
I mean, you know, we did enough to win. You know, there's some things we did very well. You know, every game's different. You know, we played this was a whole different challenge today. But, you know, I thought we played well enough to win.
Marquise Bell filling in for Leighton. Just talk about him and the job he did tonight.
Yeah, great job. You know, I think, you know, clearly, you know, you're getting to see what we see every day. You know, you look at a young man that came up through special teams, but super competitive, is natural in there, particularly in the subgroups. But, you know, I just love his tenacity and confidence for a young player. So I thought he did a nice job.
Coach, Nick Eatman, DallasCowboys.com. Can you talk about the punt return play with Tolbert and kind of how weird that was and what the officials said to you?
Yeah, no, you know, I think the biggest thing is, you know, JT thought that Terp had touched the ball on the collision. So, you know, he was the first touch. So, I mean, it was pretty clear on the review. You know, it's just like anything on the road. When they put up on a jumbotron, it's usually in favor of the home team.
Can you explain the end of the first half and the use of the timeout and kicking the field goal and all that?
Yeah, I think the end of the half, you know, if you look at the series going down there, I think I've said it enough a couple times already. I mean, it's a bumpy game, you know, and I think, you know, you get in those spots. I mean, I know when I call plays, you always have 2 play calls that you're, you know, anticipating. You know, the threshold for us is 7 seconds. Is, you know, something as, you know, as far as determining which way we're going in that situation based on yard line, down a distance, and that. So I definitely, you know, I think we're right at 8, 7, 8 somewhere in there, and you know, we just decided to play it safe instead. You know, the other call would have been O-zone, where you know you throw the ball into the end zone and give us a shot there. So I just felt the way the game was going. I think we had a holding penalty earlier in the series, you know, so I just wanted to make sure we got the points getting out of there.
Was there a lot of talk on your side, and what was that like today?
Oh yeah, I mean Kellen's very well respected, you know, throughout the organization. You know, both his time there as a player and coach. So I know a lot of guys, you know, is glad to see him, and you know he has a newborn, and so yeah, it's you know he's doing a great job here.
Is it strange to see him on the other side like that?
I think if you're in this, you're fortunate enough to be in the league long enough, you experience these types of situations. So.
Can you talk more about the play of defense? Both their touchdowns came on short fields.
Yep.
It seemed like you were backed up. They had the field because they were backed up the entire game, and they held them to field goal and on downs and to keep you alive.
Oh, a tremendous amount of grit. I mean, you know, and they, you know, I was worried about them there in the second half. I mean, they had those long drives, and we come out and you know ran it twice and you know with 3 and outs. So I mean, that's you know, I just can't say enough about their their tenacity, and they just keep battling. I mean, that's the way we're wired. So yeah, I thought they, you know, and then we put it in their hands there at the end, and they delivered.
I don't know how many in a row he's made now, but what's the confidence that you have when Aubrey goes out there?
Well, I thought you'd criticize me for not letting him go for it at 71. So you know, but you know, 67. But yeah, he's he can crush it. You know, he's the same. You know, he's so consistent. I enjoy watching him work. And I'll tell you, he's off to a great start. You know, like I said, I don't know if I've seen a start like this in my time. You know, what a kicker.
It wasn't obviously last second kick or anything like that, but is there any like, all right, let's see what you got here when he's the first time doing that?
I'll be honest with you. I think those decisions, you know, for me are made, you know, before the game. I mean, you always got to be in tune with the ebb and flow of the game. So you know, you have marks and you know, he gives us the benefit of trying the long ones when we have to. But yeah, I mean, we played it pretty true to numbers.
I'm sorry, one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Philly loses, San Francisco loses.
It's a good weekend.
Do you look at a bigger picture here at all?
Good weekend. Yeah. Crazy weekend in the NFL, but we're on the right side of it this week. So, and you know how fast that can turn. So.
Is it too early to think of that bigger picture at this point?
I think, like always, if you just really stay focused on yourself, and if you want to look outside of yourself, just watch what's going on in your division. That's about as far as I go.
Piggybacking on real quick, did y'all, when y'all landed, I think 49ers just lost and the Eagles were playing, I don't know if that gave y'all any uplift that, hey, last week because you see what happened.
I apologize. I'm not your drama content guy, so I wish I had a great story. No, yeah. I think most of our guys slept on the plane, frankly.
Joe Reedy, Associated Press. Mike, can you just talk a little bit about Detroit Pollard's 60-yard reception and individual effort on that?
Yeah.
And also for Dak for scrambling and finding him.
Yeah, definitely. That was a big third down conversion. And I think it just shows what Tony's all about. I mean, Tony's a big play waiting to happen. I think it's something that we continue to look at and try to give him opportunities and space. But that's just a great example of playing above the 2.3. It starts with Dak.